at any point of your life, was there something that you really, really wanted, but you never got it? Like maybe you wanted a part in a play. Maybe there was a guy that you like. Maybe whatever. It could be anything.
I get all those things.
It's August 30, 2022. My name is Jimmy Van, and it's time to know your news tonight. My guest gets recognized at bars strictly by the sound of her voice. She says big hair, duck lips, and a tan is only fitting from a Jersey girl. And apparently she's always right. She is the producer and diva at Busted Open Radio, Gabby AF, or I should say hashtag Gabby AF. This is Gabby LaSpisa. How you doing?
I'm good. That was the best intro I've ever gotten in my life.
And I always research, you know what I mean? Always.
This is why you're good at your job, I guess. I'm happy. Now I don't regret coming on here. I'm excited.
That's good, because otherwise what was going to happen? You'd be like, why did I do that silly shit?
Yeah.
What was the point of that?
Would have just ghosted you. It's fine.
Or that too. Well, here's what's going to happen. We're going to talk to KYN 7 of the top news stories of the week that are stupid, funny, and weird. I'm going to get your reactions, and I'm going to ask you questions along the way. And we talked off the air about all the silly shit that happens in this world, you know, on a weekly basis. And so the fact I'm able to whittle it down to 7 every week, it's almost a miracle in itself. So are you ready to go? I got some good ones.
Oh, I'm so excited. I deal with stupid shit all the time. So.
Right up your alley.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's start with story number 7, reported by Local 4 News Detroit. So there's an island park in Detroit. It's called Belle Isle Park. Okay. And last week they reopened their giant slide. You know those fun slides, and then you got to sit on the carpet to go down them?
Oh,
you know those things?
Yeah. Those are
so
awesome.
They opened their giant slide, and it was going to run every weekend until Labor Day. And, you know, it's got the big wavy waves on it, the bumps on it, and then you sit on the carpet. So hours after it opened, they announced that they were closing it down. Gabby, why did they close it down?
First of all, I'm so, you know how angry I would be if I showed up for this and the second they opened, they closed it down. Obviously, they took giant into account, and a giant human being broke the slide. And it's cracked in half, and they didn't do weight measurements. They didn't do any of that. They said giant, and, you know, some giant ass cracked the slide. That's my take on it.
Excellent answer. So what happened was they put the bumps too close together, so the kids were flying down the thing like tennis balls going down a staircase. We got video of this from Local 4 News. Put that up, Joel. Look at the size of this thing. Look at the kid at the front going down right there. And they're airborne already. They're horizontal. Bang. And the ones behind them, look at them. They're like laying flat. They're like taking bumps by the time they get to the bottom of this thing. Amazing. Look at that. Look at the size of this freaking thing. Look at that. So apparently they're going to reopen it, and they're going to use water to slow things down. I don't know if I'm feeling that. Like, are you going to be sitting on a soggy carpet? You know what I mean?
I mean, first, the fact that it's children is hilarious just because they're okay. Because
they're okay.
If they weren't okay, then I would feel guilty that that's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Yes. They looked like those flying squirrels. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like those squirrels that go flying because their feet were catapulted out.
Yeah, they got wings and stuff, right?
That's all I saw was flying squirrels going down that slide. I don't know that water will make it better.
I don't think so.
I feel like wouldn't water speed up the process, and then they would just land face first in a pool of water?
I think if they're on the carpet, they're not going to go anywhere. If they're sitting on a wet carpet, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's not anyone's favorite magic carpet ride.
I don't think so.
Aladdin would not be into this kind of carpet ride. That is for sure.
I think that they're trying to do what they can to salvage it, because you got to remember, some engineer got paid a shit ton of money to make that piece of crap. And how did they not know they got bumps 3 feet apart? How did they not know? Did they not test it before they opened it to the public? You know what I mean?
Listen, I can't make this about Jersey, but this does remind me of, did you ever hear of Action Park and all the shit that went on there in New Jersey? Okay. This is a testament to Dave, who I work with, because there was a theme park in New Jersey, of course, that they didn't really test out the rides. There was a lot of problem with a lot of the rides, and it was very dangerous. There's a big documentary on it, and it's giving me Action Park vibes. And people from Jersey will get this, so it's a small pool of people. But how do a ride like that and just throw children on it?
Right? Exactly. No one.
Where are the angry parents with pitchforks, like saying, "Never open this ride again"? Like, where are they, mom and dad? What the hell is going on?
I agree. And the fact that, again, somebody got paid a lot of money to do that. Some magical engineer got paid a lot. Well, what I do with every single story is I try to come up with a question that's somehow related to the story.
Okay.
And so here's my question for you with this one. Have you ever taken a ride that ended up with you going head over heels?
No, I never.
Nothing?
I'm not a heights person. It's my one fear in life.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't do a lot of rides. And let me tell you right now, for the reasoning of the video we just saw, that's a simple slide.
Yeah.
You sit on a carpet and you go down and there's issues. You think I'm going to put myself in the position to go head over heels flying into anything? I'm smarter than that. That's why I'm still alive today. That's why, you know, I am who I am in my life, and I can handle all these things because I don't make those bad decisions. But now I know for sure you definitely have, because you're waiting to say it.
Hell, practically on a weekly basis with the kids. So we went to this park last week, like a kids park, and I'm not kidding. One of the slides was like this.
Yeah, no.
And so, okay, it's okay if you're 40 pounds. You look down at the bottom. When you're 195 pounds, which is what I am, I thought I was tumbling to my death. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. For what reason? I say this all the time. My friends go on, what is the joy you get out of thinking you might die for a second?
Right. Well, you know, a little birdie told me that you've done some wrestling training, so maybe you'll be head over heels eventually.
Listen, you never know when you'll see me in the ring. I'm a little addicted to it. If I'm gonna almost die, it needs to be in the space of pro wrestling, because that's my life now. So that's the exception to the rule.
Awesome. I might isolate that clip and put that up on Twitter, and then we'll see if we can get you, in a ring on television. Let's go to story number 6, reported by the Mirror. These stories just never cease to amaze me. You know what I mean? Never cease to amaze me. So there's a 68-year-old man from Colorado. The guy's name is Brother Sage. Hippie name if I've ever heard one. That's his name, Brother Sage. He's been battling it out with his roommate because Mr. Sage has a smelly habit that has left his roommate disgusted. And so my question for you, Gabby, what is the smelly habit?
The smelly habit?
Yep.
The irony that his name is Sage, which is an herb that actually smells very good, is not going over my head on this one. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe he doesn't wash his balls.
Fair answer. So on a daily basis, he drinks his own urine.
No, worse.
We got 6 of this, Joel.
I'd rather someone who doesn't wash their balls. No, Sage, why? Why?
Here's some pictures. He calls it urine therapy. He's been doing it since 1994. He drinks it in the morning. He uses it as a foot soak or as an eye bath. He believes that it can heal cancer, viruses, and even sunburn. And he says the cleaner you get your diet, the better your piss is going to look, taste, and smell. What do you think, Gabby? Bottoms up? What do you think?
I've drank some questionable things in my college days, but I'm very confident to say I've never had urine to know. I also do want to backtrack. He still looks like someone that might not wash his balls, so I'm not throwing that one aside, because that could also be an added bonus as to why he does smell.
Yeah, I mean, he also looks like somebody that drinks his own piss.
100%. Yeah. If you were to map that on a billboard, do you think this person drinks his own piss? Yes, 100%.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think it's working for him. Like, if you're doing it for these reasons, it's not helping. You know, like, if he was like, you told me he was, 200 years old looking like that, I'd be like, maybe it's working. Wow, he's super old. Absolutely not. It's not working.
I think you're right. I got to ask you, you said you drank some weird stuff in college. Give me an example. Like what?
It's college, man. Did you ever like drink scissor? Because like that was like the cool thing to get drunk off, which is like cough syrup.
So I didn't personally, but I know of people that did.
Yeah, I'm one of those people you now know that might have
done you did. So I see in high school I knew people that did that. Not even college.
Yeah, I mean, maybe in high school. College, it's more acceptable to do dumb shit, I feel like, so we'll say college, but it's Jungle Juice in college. Do you ever know what's in that?
I've heard of that too. I've heard of it.
You go to Jungle Juice, you literally show up at like a frat party, any kind of party, and they're like, "Oh, have the Jungle Juice." It's a big cooler. Colors were changing all the time. You don't
because
really know.
They're just dumping shit in there, right? They're just
God
randomly
only
dumping
knows.
shit in.
Yeah, God
Yeah,
only
yeah.
knows. There could have been urine.
Interesting.
I really wouldn't know at this point. Sage, maybe that's why I look so good at almost 30 years old. I drink urine in college. I didn't know about it.
Virus free. There you go.
Exactly.
That's all it took. All right. So you once posted on Twitter that
Okay.
your roommate asked you about pro wrestling.
Yeah, I can't.
They said, how are they bleeding so much if it's fake? That's what you said. So
She said it.
maybe that roommate's ignorance will be your answer. But here's my next question.
Okay.
What is the worst habit that you can ever recall any roommate having?
Any roommate? This is
Any
interesting.
roommate.
So I will say, aside from that saying that my roommate said, we haven't had any issues since. That was our first and only issue. She's great. In college, I did have, so this is bad, but I didn't like her, so it's completely fine. It's justified. So
You want to give her name, email address, Twitter address?
I don't give a shit, to be quite honest. So do you know when people, so my one roommate, I lived with 3 other girls in an apartment, 2-bedroom, and one of the roommates, my ear just fell. One of the roommates went like international for like an internship or something. So she had to find someone for the last semester to like fill in. It was a random, but she had to do it quickly because she didn't know she was like going to be abroad or whatever. She found this random girl who was going to pay rent on time, like whatever. And we met her. She seemed nice. I didn't know her very well. Within a few months, we had learned she was the type that she was very holistic, which is fine if you want to be holistic. So she didn't like shave and she didn't really shower very much.
Really?
Yeah. So it wasn't she wasn't my like bedroom roommate, but we all did share a bathroom. So sometimes, she wasn't the cleanest and we would have to, the bathroom was not always the nicest community center when you have someone that's not very cleanly. She also, side note, had a tattoo of a swastika on her arm.
Really?
Swear to God.
Now, did you see the tattoo before you said, okay, cool, this girl can move into our place?
No, didn't see it. I think we got her in the winter and then it got colder time and then it got warmer. And just one day I was like, yep, that's swastika on her arm. I did not realize that. So
I'm sure the guys were lining up.
Listen, if they weren't lining up for, me, they were obviously lining up for the girl with the swastika.
Obviously.
Didn't shave and didn't, wash herself very well.
Wow. So how did that one end?
How did it go?
How did it end?
She left after the semester and we did
that was it.
Have her re-sign with us for the next.
Wow.
That was interesting.
I wonder if she was like a chinchilla. She had like a kitty bath of dust in her room or something.
I never went in there. She could have had a body under the bed. I would not have known, and I wouldn't put it past her, to be quite honest.
Wow. Interesting.
That was fun times. It was college, though. People were weird.
Yeah, maybe, but a shower is a shower. You know what I mean?
Thank you. I agree. Yeah. Shower shouldn't be that hard, but
no.
Some people allergic to water. I don't know.
Maybe she's gonna show up in another story here in a minute.
She's gonna stalk my life now. She's definitely watching this. So
let's go to story number 5, reported by the UK Sun. So there is a man in the English town of Cromer. This guy's name is Tom Selby. One night he heard a commotion outside his place. And he didn't think much of it. He thought, it could be badgers or something. I guess they have issues with badgers in his area. He thought they're just kind of making some noise. The next morning, he checked his security cameras, and he figured out what the noise was pretty quick. Gabby, what do you think the noise was? What do you think happened during the night?
I mean, if it wasn't an animal, I think it has to be a person, like eating his garbage or something.
Eating his garbage.
Yeah, like a homeless person who was like looking for scraps.
You know what? You're close.
There
was a guy passed out on top of a car wearing only socks and underwear. Joel, you got the picture? Look at that guy.
Oh,
right there.
That's
there
amazing.
He is. And as you can see, the dude had a serious wedgie, face planted or flare flopped right there on top of that car. Imagine if let's say, Gabby, maybe in New York you've seen this shit already, but imagine if you one morning you stroll it to your car, you're minding your own business, and you found that on top of your car. How'd that work for you?
I wouldn't even be mad. I'd be like, you probably had a great night, or your friends are mad at you, or you're sunbathing. It's like one of three options.
Sunbathing. Guy's sunbathing.
I mean, he's in a good spot for it, and the sun looked like it was gleaming down. So for me, it's like, you're working on your tan. Just get off my car. I would be very nice about it. I've seen, you know, like you said, it's New York. The shit I would see in the subway and like on the streets, like that's not even the most wild thing. But he definitely lost a bet or something with his friends and got hammered. And they were like, boys are crazy when you guys drink and you go give each other wedgies and like God only knows. So they probably like thought it would be funny, and you were drunk and you threw him on top of a car.
You know, the sunbathing thing makes sense. Maybe he like gave himself that wedgie because he wanted to get a little tan on the ass cheeks.
Tan lines suck, man. Come on.
And, what it was.
And men can just walk around, no shirts on, whatever. We're the ones who have to deal with like the lines, and we gotta get creative with it and stuff. It's very hard being a female.
Interesting. All right. Well, here's my question for you about this one. And I could go in so many directions with this one.
I know.
Here's my question for this one. What is the weirdest place that you or someone you know ever laid down to take a nap?
Oh, easy. I have fallen asleep on a flight of stairs before.
Really?
Yeah.
How? Did you like fall and you said, well, I'm here now?
You would think it was because I fell. I'm quite clumsy when I do get very drunk. I went through a phase where I always fell. For some reason, no matter when I drank, like fell all the time. Like my friends, I'm almost 5'9", so I'm pretty tall. My friends would literally be like, big tree fall hard. Like that's what they would call it, because I would stumble in the most dramatic form ever and get right back up like nothing happened and not feel it till the next day. So that was a toxic trait of mine that, thank God, I think I've grown up from a little bit. It's been a while. Like I've fallen, my best story is I fell down an up escalator once, and it's quite frankly, the hardest thing to get up from. I'm not going to lie, because while you try to get up, it's moving. So you keep just falling. It's just nonstop, like ascending to your death, basically, you feel like, and it's not fun for anyone, but it's one of the funniest things my friends have ever seen in their lives. But no, I think I just couldn't get into, I think it was just like a house party, and you kind of just sleep where you lie and where you drop. And it was just one of those. I was tired. The stairs looked great. They had carpet on them. So to me, it's a win-win. And I woke up the next day, worst neck pain of my life, but you know, it is what it is. You're in college, and that's what happens.
It's interesting. So what you've told me so far is you said you're very clumsy, but then you feel no pain the next day. So that means that you're either going to be the best or the worst pro wrestler
of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah. So we're going to have to see this. This is going to have to get done. It's going to have to get done.
I'm leaning towards best, but you know, that's up for debate, I guess, if you know me or not.
All right. I am looking forward to the day. Hell, I might be there live to watch this after what I'm learning today.
You better be there live, and you better be drinking, because if you're not, having some jungle juice or something, because that's going to be what I'm going to make everybody do when they watch my match.
Everybody's going to watch every single time you wrestle. You're going to make everybody drink jungle juice. That's because
the drunker you are, the better I am too. It's just science.
All right, let's go to story number 4, reported by the World of Buzz. So there's a woman in Indonesia, and this shit is real. I vet this stuff. I make sure there's multiple news outlets that report it. There's a woman in Indonesia, and she met a man on a dating app.
Oh, and I already know it's bad.
The man claimed to be a doctor with impressive academic credentials. After a couple of weeks, the man went to stay at the woman's place, and eventually they got engaged, and soon after that, they got married. There was a problem. Gabby, what was the issue?
He wasn't a doctor.
Is that your answer?
I mean, that's probably the most obvious issue, but there's definitely a lot. But sure, that's what I'm going with.
Okay, so you're right when you say he wasn't. But instead of he wasn't a doctor, he wasn't a man. It was a woman. Joel, you got a picture? That's a picture of the doctor right there.
Oh, my God.
The wife became suspicious because she never met his parents and she never saw his genitals. By the 4th month of marriage, the man had still not undressed in front of her. The woman noticed lumps on the man's chest, and he said it was caused by hormones. They did have sex, but the husband claimed later that he only used his fingers, or her fingers, I guess. And finally, after 10 months, the husband got caught when taking a shower. That's when the woman caught, you know, that this is a woman when she was taking a shower. And so they got divorced. Here's a question for you. And this isn't like my main question. This is like a side question.
Sure.
Does this count as catfishing because like they actually met and everything? So like, does that count as catfishing?
I mean, to an extreme degree, yes, because
You think
you're
so?
lying about something, but also that woman deserves to be catfished. If you don't know and you get married to the point and you're like, oh yeah, like that's how we're gonna do. In what world? Like I just don't. I can't. I
know.
cannot. First of all, too, like I don't know. That it's a very feminine looking man. If you were to believe that was a man, like I would think that a little feminine looking.
Maybe Indonesia is different a little. I don't know. I'm just
I
kind
don't
of
know. It reminds
spitballing.
me of like Ted. Did you ever see the movie Ted?
The teddy bear movie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
where he has to have sex with the carrot because he doesn't have a penis. Like that's. I was
Yes.
waiting for you to be like, oh yes, she lied and said she used like the remote instead of like. How do you not? I'm sorry. Like no, you don't. Come on.
I mean, 10 months, right? 10 months. So in
It's a
10
long
months,
time.
she did not see a penis in 10 months.
Yeah. 10 days. If you don't see it, it's not there. Okay. I'm sorry. And if you're going to marry the person, you better see it before you get married. Did you ever learn your lesson? Like, come on, man.
You heard it here first. Gabby's limit is 10 days. You heard it right here.
If I have to question if it's there, 10 minutes, to be quite honest. If I don't know if it's there or not, and that's a problem. Why would I waste 10 months of my life?
So if you were set up on a blind date,
Oh,
and
God.
if you're thinking, I don't know for sure if this is man, are you like, okay, pull him down. Let's see. Pull him down.
I mean, I would hope if I was set up on a blind date, the person setting me up wasn't like, oh, by the way, I'm pretty sure he's a man and I know that's what you're into. Like, who is setting me up? Like, what an asshole. Like, to be quite honest. But if I'm questioning it, I'm not going to be rude, but I would ask. I'm a very upfront person, you know. I think, especially on dates, possibly why I'm single. Who knows? I'm not going to get into that. But you know, I'm very open and upfront because if you're going to waste your time with somebody, you need to know everything you're getting, or what's the point?
Absolutely. Well, this leads me to my next question.
Uh-oh.
Have you?
I set myself up for these things.
I should have got 20 stories because you're fun. I should have gone more than 7. Have you ever met someone online and found out that they weren't exactly who they said they were?
Honestly, no. And this isn't a fun story because the only thing I will say is never like appearance wise. No, I've never been catfished. I've never been like lied to in that sense, but I have talked to people who full on have like a full relationship or have a girlfriend and they're just not honest about it.
Oh,
and that's
really?
fun to find out. Yeah. Like crazy. Like you're insane. Like you're talking to me and like, all I have to do is like snoop a little bit. Cause I'm like, oh, it's a little weird. He only wants to talk here like these certain times. And then like you're full on in a relationship with someone for years, and then the girl gets involved. Like it's no, thank you.
You hear that shit all the time. Happens all the time.
It's honestly scary. And that's like the one thing I will say about like dating now. It's very easy to do that kind of shit because you meet these people on apps and it's like not really real until it gets real. So like people can tell you anything at all.
Yeah.
And you have to, what's the point of you not believing it if you're trusting to like tell this person about your life? But there's bad people. Check out my DMs. You would agree with me.
Did you see the documentary on Manti, the football player?
Oh my God, I just watched it.
Like, and that dude, he was a superstar football player. Yeah. Could have had any woman that he wanted, and he got suckered in by like it's unbelievable. It's an unbelievable story.
Oh my God, that documentary! I actually told everyone I work with that like you have to watch this because he got like an outpouring of support after it too.
Yes. Yeah.
I have my whole opinion on this, but like what was done to him, like it blows my mind that that's not like a criminal charge.
I agree. He got like, fucked in the draft. He
did. The mental abuse of
yeah.
like being on the phone with someone that you're literally talking to, you think is dying, and like you can like in what world is that not a crime of like your brain, of your mental state of health and like all this shit? Like it breaks my heart for him because it's that was wild to me. But,
yeah, it was. Yeah.
I could talk about that for the whole rest of the I love it. I love documentaries. I'm a big nerd.
Well, we're going to see if you love this next one.
Uh-oh.
Let's go to story number 3, reported by the Kansas City Star. So there's a pastor out of Kansas City, and he goes by the name of Carlton Funderburk. That's what he goes by, Carlton Funderburk. And he's from a place called Church at the Well. And of course, it's a non-denominational church. Of course it is. That means you don't have to pay anything to like the head church, you know?
Yeah.
Mr. Funderburk had a clip from a recent sermon that went viral on TikTok. And my question for you, Gabby, is why do you think that sermon went viral.
Ooh. I don't know, did he get naked?
That definitely would have gone viral.
Yeah.
It would have. But no, what happened was he told his congregation that they're poor, broke, busted, and disgusted because they wouldn't buy him a watch. We have a clip. This is from Kansas City Defender on TikTok. Put the clip up, Joel.
See, that's how I know you still poor, broke, busted, and disgusted, because of how you've been honoring me. You can buy a Movado watch in Sam's.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
And y'all know I asked for one last year. Here it is the whole way in August. I still ain't got it. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Let me kick down the door and talk to my cheap sons and daughters.
Cheap sons and daughters. That's amazing.
You know, my favorite part about that is when he goes, you can buy Movado at Sam's. The woman goes, yes, you can.
Yeah. His one supporter in the back.
One supporter. Yeah. Yeah. And I wonder how quick
go.
she was writing a check. You know what I'm saying?
I would go to this sermon, by the way. That was one of the most entertaining things I've ever seen. Would I give him money? Absolutely not.
Yes.
But
yes.
I think the creativity of the cheap, what was it, busted and disgusted. I like the rhyme.
Poor,
I am a
broke,
sucker
busted,
for
and disgusted. Yeah.
I'm a sucker for a rhyme. That takes creativity. That means he thought it out before he did it. It wasn't on the fly. And if it was on the fly, more impressive, to be quite honest.
Right, right.
He's someone who does his research. And guess what? Now he went viral, and maybe he'll just be TikTok famous and make money anyway.
Maybe he will. Maybe he will. I'm not a fan of these non-denominational churches. I'm not a religious guy anyway, but I'm not a fan of these non-denominational churches. To me, they're money grabs. People might find that offensive, but it's the truth. That's why they're non-denominational.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Are you much of a religious person? Like, do you attend mass or anything?
Not really. I'm actually half and half. So my mom is Jewish and my father is Catholic. He's straight up the boat from Sicily. Yeah. So that's why me and my brothers, we say we're pizza bagels, because we're the nice mixture of the Italian Jew. So I kind of grew up. Listen, it was the best of both worlds, because I got to celebrate absolutely everything. Like literally, I got Christmas, I got Hanukkah, I got
Passover, you did.
I got all the good stuff. Plus, I had a bat mitzvah because why
really?
Not? But I also had a sweet 16 because, you know, I get it all. You know what I mean? So like, it just ended up being the best of both worlds for me. So
if I ever have you on here again, part of my intro is going to be that you're a pizza bagel. I'm remembering this.
It's the greatest saying of being an Italian Jew of all time. And I say it and people are like, wow, that's so good. And I'm like, someone's going to steal it. That's very, very famous one day. And I'm going to be sitting home kicking myself that I didn't like copyright it or something.
You might be. You might be. Well, here is my question for you with this next story.
I say, every time.
And you just kind of indicated to me that, you know, it sounds like you had a pretty good upbringing in terms of, you know, you got a lot of good stuff. At any point of your life, was there something that you really, really wanted, but you never got it?
If I say no, I'm a brat. But
trick question.
Yeah, it's a trick question. And now I'm an awful human being. And if my parents listen to this, they're going to be like, oh my God, you sound like we spoiled you to death. But
it doesn't have to be something material. Like maybe you wanted a part in a play. Maybe there was a guy that you like. Maybe whatever. It could be anything.
I get all those things. No, I feel it's so hard. Maybe because I'm like thinking back to it now, like, I don't know. That's hard. I was so not one of those materialistic people. I'm still really not a materialistic person. Like I'm the worst, even as like a girlfriend or anything. Like, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't care. I'm not like a jewelry person. I'm very like simple in that. I just like food. And I like to like have do fun things. So I feel like I got the parties, you know, I honestly, I wasn't a brat in the sense of like, I earned everything when I was younger. Like I was a straight A student. I was like varsity sports. Like I worked very, very hard. So I feel like even when I did like manifest stuff, like it happened, but because I'm a psycho competitive person. So I felt like there was nothing I never really got that I wanted. Not really, like, I can't really think of anything. And everything I feel like did fall into place. If you would have asked me this 5 years ago, I'd have been like, yeah, a job that I like, because I was like doing different kinds of radio and like whatever. And then like I fell into this job. And if you would have told me this 5 years ago, like I would have been like, pro wrestling, like that's hilarious, because I had no idea like this is what I was supposed to be doing. But no, like I think I'm just very blessed and grateful for having as much as I do have.
If any future boyfriends of yours happen to be watching this, they are probably thankful that when you said I'm a psycho, you then added competitive person after it.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm not a psycho girlfriend. I'm really not at all. I'm a lot of fun.
I could tell. Yeah.
You know, if you have to say it, it's true too, right? Obviously. If you say you're not psycho, it definitely means you're not psycho.
It definitely means. Right.
Yeah.
Right. All right, let's go on to story number 2, reported by the New York Post. So, a man was involved in a car accident in Los Angeles. Witnesses on the scene ended up giving this guy the nickname the Terminator. Gabby, why did they call him the Terminator?
So, I've never seen the movie.
What?
So, I can't even make a reference to the movie, except did he look like Arnold Schwarzenegger?
What about, have you seen like T2? T2 is like a classic, like a excellent movie.
Terminator 2? Is that what you're saying?
Terminator 2.
Cooler
Yeah.
way? No.
Yeah.
Why would I have seen the second and not seen the first?
Because it's better than the first.
I'm not a serial killer. People that watch sequels before watching the first ones, like,
makes him a serial killer?
Yeah, you're gonna have problems. That and like people that order well done steaks. There's no place for you in my life.
I'm with you on that. Medium rare is the way to go. With you on that.
But yeah, did he look like Arnold?
Sort of.
Uh-oh.
So the reason that they called him the Terminator is because after the crash, he got out of his truck stark naked and casually walked away. We got video. This is from a guy on Twitter at Manny Fargo. Put that up, Joel. Here he is getting out. He's naked. He's got his clothes with him. And he's just casually just strolling on away. There he goes. Now, I'm going to guess he must have been under the influence of something, because why else would you get, buck naked after a car accident? Like, can you think of any reason why this dude would have decided, I crashed my car and now I got to strip?
I mean, was someone else in the wait, did you see the throwing of clothes?
Threw the clothes away.
After he walked by, he's like, I don't need these anymore.
Yeah, no,
why are you holding them?
Fuck it. Yeah.
He was alone in the car, so he wasn't naked in the car with somebody else, isn't the question.
He's the only person that was arrested, I believe, in that particular vehicle.
So maybe, hear me out, he's with a girl, they're having a good time, and her boyfriend shows up, so he's got to leave immediately. No time to put your clothes back on.
Okay.
Gets in his car, is being chased by the boyfriend, to the point where he's looking over his shoulder. No time to put any clothes on. He didn't know this girl had a boyfriend. He's strict with shock.
Strict with shock.
I didn't know what I was going to say, and that's what happened. Because now I'm thinking about it, and I'm getting nervous for him because he doesn't know. So he's overwhelmed with the shock of it, crashes the car. The boyfriend flees the scene. And he's still butt naked. And he's so angry about the girl he was having sex with, having a boyfriend, because he was so in love with her, that he doesn't even care to put his clothes on because he's so angry about the situation. What do you think about
Interesting.
that?
So why is it that he kept the clothes in his hand when he left the truck and just like casually strolled away with the clothes in his hand?
I think he had a revelation as he walked with the clothes is the symbolism of him holding on to what they once had. And then the throwing down of the clothes was, I'm done with this. I'm done with her. She's not worth it for me anymore.
Interesting. These Fruit of the Looms represent what I had with this chick, and I don't need this shit anymore.
This is the closing of that
Great
chapter,
symbolism.
and I'm going to be a free man in the next chapter. I don't want those clothes. They're tainted by that whore.
Great symbolism. Amazing. All right, here's my question for you related to this one. And the question I came up with is boring now after that excellent explanation. So I almost want to spitball and come up with a different question, but I'll stick with I'll make it easy for you for this one. What is your favorite and your least favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie?
Wow, that's what you were going with?
That's what I was going with. I didn't know you were going to be talking about symbolism with underwear and shit and chased by the boyfriend and
something about being naked. Like, where's the weirdest place that you've walked around naked?
So
throw clothes.
I thought about it, but then I thought, am I crossing a line? I don't know.
Whatever.
Like, are people going to watch this and now they're going to really be perked up? You know what I'm saying? So
You're
I'll tell you what.
If I had a really good story, I'd make the whole show for you.
Do you have a good story? Because we can pivot to that question.
Being naked in public?
What was it that you said? You said, yeah. What's the
weirdest
most? What'd you
place
say?
that I've been naked?
Weirdest place that you've been naked?
Yeah, I mean. No, I don't have a good story. I wish I did. It would have made the whole thing better, but you didn't ask that question, so I feel like I don't have to have that good story for it. I could have made it.
Were you on the stand?
No, I mean, we're girls. Girls walk around naked all the time in front of each other too. Like, I feel like that's a different kind of thing. Like,
I've seen
So-
that in the movies. I feel like it's just a movie thing. It's all made up.
It's not. Girls, it depends on the girl, obviously, like do whatever you're comfortable with. But like my friends walk around butt naked. Like I had a shore house with like 7 of my girlfriends. Like you think that, and there was like 2 bedrooms. You think we're not walking around just like throwing on different clothes and stuff like that? I know I'm making everybody's very excited. It's like if that's what it is. That's what like guys do the same thing in locker rooms and stuff. I'm sure like who cares?
It is true. It is like in sports locker rooms and stuff. That's true.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I think my favorite Arnold movie, and this is lame, but like Jingle All the Way is my favorite Arnold movie. It just
Really?
Yes. How about that?
That's your favorite one?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I like that one. I've seen
Not
that
like
one the most.
Predator or
Never
The
saw
Running Man or
saw
Total
it.
Recall.
Never saw it.
Jingle All the Way with Sinbad
I
chasing an
think
action
the only-
figure.
I think the only Arnold movies I've seen are Jingle All the Way, and then what's the one with Danny DeVito? Twins or something?
Twins.
Oh, and Kindergarten Cop.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one too.
That's a good
That's a
one.
good one too. Interesting.
Yeah.
I honestly thought you were going to say that the worst was Jingle All the Way. I didn't think you were going to say that was the best one.
It's so not great, but there's a comfort about it. Like when you watch it, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's
What's
Jamie.
the comfort?
Yeah, like the crazy mailman that tries to steal
The action figure?
Turbo Man.
That's I think that's what it was. Turbo Man. You find comfort in that the
Yeah,
mailman's
it's
trying
Jingle
to.
All the Way. It's a holiday movie. It's Arnold. It is what it is. It's Arnold.
Interesting. Okay, note to self: next time, just ask where she's been naked. Forget about the Arnold Schwarzenegger
Look,
movie.
I can talk about that shit all the time, like college stories, whatever. But Arnold, come on, that's a little before my time too. I'm much younger than you.
He's still doing stuff, I think, isn't he?
Isn't he a governor?
No, he's been out of politics for a while now, I think.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't follow Arnold as much as I should, I guess.
And you're probably doing okay for that. All right, let's go to story number 1. We're at the last one already.
Wow, so sad for you.
Story. What am I going to do with the rest of my day? I
I've
don't
been
know.
the highlight of this entire series. I'm just
Highlight
saying,
of the month.
numbers
Highlight
are
of the
going
month.
up after today.
Story number 1 was reported by 3 News GH. This one is all you're going to love. This one. I already know it. So there's a man from Ghana, a 42-year-old guy. His name is Kofi Ada, and he's also known as Wofa Ada.
Okay.
He said that he was having a dream, and keep in mind that he's in Ghana. He said he was having a dream that he was slaughtering a goat to help his wife prepare dinner. He woke up from the dream and he discovered something.
He killed
Gabby,
her.
what
killed
did he
her.
do? What's that?
He killed her.
Your answer is that he killed the woman?
Yeah.
He actually somehow, while dreaming, cut off his penis. We have censored video from GH1 TV out of Ghana. Put that up, Joel. There's the end result right there. The dude cut off his penis, dreaming about slaughtering a goat. And I got so many questions that I don't have answers to here. Like, where the hell did he get the knife? Was he sleepwalking? Did he sleepwalk to the kitchen? How did he not feel it the moment that he made contact? You know what I'm saying?
She definitely did it.
You think it's a cover up?
Yes, 100%.
Really?
There's no way. She did it, and she said he cheated on her, and she said, if you want to make this right, you better let me do this, and then that's it, and you never tell anyone it was me. Because he's not going to go to jail for hurting himself.
You're telling me that the wife said to him, if you want to make this right, let me cut off your penis. And he said, all right, well, I got to make it right.
You got to make it right. You got to make it right. That's what happens. You want to stick it somewhere it doesn't belong. She deserves to do that to you.
Wow. Okay. You said
don't blame a poor goat. A goat dream. That's all you got for me.
That's what he said.
I'm supposed to believe. Okay.
Okay. You said earlier that you're like a fun girlfriend and everything. Are you the type of girl where you're so persuasive and you're so in demand, I guess, that if a guy screwed up, and if you said, look, you got to make it right, so here's the knife, guys in your life would be like, oh, I got to make it right, so do what you got to do.
First of all, don't ever question my persuasive skills, because they are phenomenal. But when it comes to me, I don't have the tolerance for it. Like, I wouldn't need to do anything to you because you've made your decision, and then my hands are clean of you. If you ever think you want to stray and do something like that, I wouldn't need to say shit. I would be like, goodbye, and you would never see me again. I wouldn't want you anymore. And it doesn't do much for her for him to not have a penis anymore. So
right. So why would she do it?
Because she's dumping him after he leaves the hospital.
Got it.
And now he can never touch anyone. It's actually strategically genius on her part.
I see. Interesting. So she said, if you want to make it right, meaning if you want to keep the marriage going, then you're going to do this. He's like, okay, fine, let's keep the marriage going. And then she said, I'll see you later.
Yeah. And what are you going to do when it's too late?
Interesting. All right. Well, here's my question about this one.
Okay.
Now, I chose to stay away from knives and I chose to stay away from cutting off appendages. So have you ever had a dream so real that you thought that it really happened? Or has anything in real life ever been so good that you thought that it was a dream? Or both?
Interesting. So something very funny that happened, and it's not answering the question fully, but it's the first thing that came to mind, is in high school, me and my best friend went to a party, got drunk, whatever, and she slept over. And in the middle of the night, she woke up abruptly. And so I woke up and I looked at her and she slapped me across the face, turned back around and went to sleep. And I was like, and it was literally one of those things where like, I'm like, did that really happen? Like, what the fuck is happening? And like, I didn't do anything. I was like, that was so strange. And then the next day I was like talking to her. I was like, do you have any idea that she's like, you're lying. That never happened. I said, it happened. You woke up, looked me in the eye and like slapped me across the face as if like I had hooked up with your boyfriend. You were
cut off his penis.
Yeah. Cut off. Yeah. Who knows? You know, you look, her eyes were open. It was one of the creepiest things of all time. And like she to this day has zero recollection of it. Like has no idea that it happened. Thinks that I'm lying when I tell the story to anybody.
Interesting. So, okay. So if she woke up and slapped you in the face, like where were you guys positioned? Was she like sleeping next to you? So she just rolled over?
Yeah. So she was sleeping next to me and she got up like abruptly and was just sitting up. So I sat up and I was looking at her. I was like, are you okay? Cause like we were drinking. I was like, are you good? Are you going to throw up? And she literally turns to me, eyes open, wailed me across the face and then laid back down and turned over. And I was like, still half drunk, still like so in shock. But I was like, if she is like dreaming or sleepwalking, like you're not supposed to wake them up. I've seen Step Brothers. I understand, you know, but
yeah, you want to learn anything about what to do in life, watch Step Brothers.
One of the greatest, I don't care, one of the greatest movies of all time to this day. But yeah, so like I didn't say anything. And then the next day I said to her, like, why did you do that? Like that was crazy. To this day, like literally that was high school. We're still best friends. And she denies that it ever happened and says like, there's no way. She thinks I'm lying every time I tell the story. So that's
there's some ulterior motives here. There's something going. There's something.
Maybe
she's got some issue. Something happened.
Probably.
I don't know. Maybe you wouldn't drink her jungle juice. Maybe that was it. I'm trying to figure out what the hell could have happened. Something happened.
Listen, if it's that deep, we're gonna have to deal with it. Now you brought up some mixed emotions. I'm gonna have to call her after this.
Right? Yeah.
Now I'm angry all over again.
I'm like the opposite of a therapist. I just kind of make people madder, I guess, you know?
It's not good. You don't want to see me angry. I told you my accent comes out way more when I'm angry. This is what happens. I've heard yours a little bit today.
Oh, you've heard it now?
Yeah.
It's coming out?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like, so you're kind of like the Incredible Hulk, sort of. Except you don't get big and green. You just get a thicker accent when you get angry.
Yes, but also incredible.
Well, but also, aren't you already, Gabby?
That's what I'm saying. I don't have to turn into something incredible. That's just 24/7. You know?
Got it. All right. Well, I want to thank our guest, Gabby LaSpisa. This has been a lot of fun. I wish I had more than 7 because this has been a lot of fun. Tell the people what you're doing and where they can find you.
So I work on a little show called Busted Open on Sirius XM Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern time with a lot of fun hosts, Dave LaGreca, Bully Ray, Tommy Dreamer, Mickey James, Mark Henry, Thunder Rosa. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of personalities to get under control. I am one of those people that does that. So you know what I deal with. I also have my merch on prowrestlingtees.com/Gabby LaSpisa. I just launched my brand Army site, which is pretty awesome. brandarmy.com/Gabby LaSpisa. And you can follow me on Twitter at Gift of Gab, SXM, or on Instagram at Gab LaSpisa, GABLASPISA. Wow, it's a lot.
And what's with the hashtag Gabby AF? What's that about?
So that's my segment every single Friday on Busted Open at 10 a.m. Eastern time. I have my segment Gabby AF, hashtag Gabby AF. It's sweeping the nation. It's an adjective. It's a noun. It's a verb. You can laugh to it. You can cry to it, whatever you want to do. And I just bring on some of my friends that I want to talk to. I talk about whatever stuck out for me during the week of pro wrestling. I watch everything, as you know. So if you want to get like a new perspective, a fun, light perspective of things, like listen to me at 10 a.m. on Fridays.
Awesome. Tune in next time to hear her tell the story about the guy in Ghana that got his dick cut off or cut his own dick off or whatever the hell you thought happened with the wife there. You have to tell that story.
I'm telling you right now, you're going to hear something come out from that in the next following weeks that they have suspect play on the wife. Don't ever count out the spouse. That's what they say in all these kinds of stories.
Don't ever count out the spouse. You're right.
It's always the spouse that does it.
You're right. All right. Well, that's going to do it for KYN tonight. Thanks again for joining us, Gabby. This was amazing. We are definitely going to do this again. This was a lot of fun. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for having me. I had so much fun.